tape for MSR Drive. Wasn't that my idea? I remember you and I were talking about it one day, but I think it was my idea.
I don't think so. That was my idea.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll get all the credit if it goes over well, but if it doesn't, I'll tell you when it's your idea.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Welcome to MSR Drive, the audio cassette tape designed to provide the MSRs with information that will help bring the field closer to the corporate community in Houston. We'll have a new tape every other month, so please feel free to submit ideas to the MSR Advisory Board member in your region. In the East, we have Paula Curtis. Southeast, Frank Duffy. South Central, Michelle Yockey. West Coast, Leslie McCoy, and Central, Eric Clark. We'll continue to contact you for ideas and assistance, so sit back, listen up to my fake audio cassette voice, and enjoy the ride. MSR Ride. In the first section, Michael Larson is being interviewed by yours truly, Brian Plout.
Hi, this is Brian Plout. I'm here with Michael Larson, the new Vice President of the Consumer Division. He's graciously given us a few moments of his time to talk a little bit about his background. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Brian.
Mike, people out in the field are obviously curious who you are, what type of personality we have here, who's leading us, charging us, forging us ahead. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did at your former position?
I work for Toshiba America Consumer Products, Inc., which is the TV, VCR, cell phone, cordless phone, car stereo side of Toshiba's business. Basically, I am a consumer guy. My background has been in early days in the packaged goods area, working for such companies like Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola. And my electronics business would include Atari, Sony, Toshiba.
Always in the consumer divisions of...
Yes, you could say that I am a consumer guy.
What are some goals you see, some challenges, and some opportunities for Compaq Consumer?
Well, obviously, having been here only 7.5 days, I'm sure I haven't developed the total list of goals that we'll want to spend some time on. But there's three that come to mind immediately. One is, I think the entire focus of the division needs to be on becoming a profitable company. I'm sure we're all aware that it's tough to make money in this business, and only the companies that creatively figure out ways to maximize profitability are going to be here in the next 5 to 10 years. Secondarily, we want to effectively manage a smooth transition from the manufacturer's rep group to a direct sales force. Additionally, we want to create the proper structure in both the sales and marketing organizations to effectively manage our planned growth in '96 and in the years to come.
So we're talking three objectives: profitability, transition to a direct sales force, and really ramping up the marketing and sales divisions to focus very effectively on the consumer division.
Right.
Now, where are you physically moving from? Where were you with Toshiba?
I currently reside in New Jersey. I live about 45 minutes dead west of New York City.
So this is quite a big change for you.
Well, unfortunately, for about the first 6 days I've been here, I hadn't noticed much difference between the two places. Frankly, the weather here was pretty much like New Jersey.
Wait till summer. Did you buy your cowboy boots and big belt buckle?
No, I didn't, but what I did do is I did go out and buy a Ford Explorer. I wasn't quite ready for the pickup, but figured I'd get out of the car.
Now, Mike, I know you've only been here a few days, but you are obviously very well aware of the merchandising program here. What are your comments or thoughts on that program?
I'm very excited by the merchandising group. When I first joined Toshiba 8 years ago, that company didn't have this kind of a group. And about 3 years ago, I actually created that same kind of a group at Toshiba. I like to think of it as my marketing arm in the field. I think that the service these people generate for the company and the data that they collect and just the feedback that we get from what's going on with our product out in the marketplace is invaluable in really helping to plan and structure your business moving forward. Additionally, I think as we look at some of the other companies that we compete against, clearly our merchandising group has to be viewed as a competitive advantage. And I think that the few accounts that have already been in here to plan the back half business, there's been a lot of positive and favorable comments about that group.
And have you ever experienced anything like a role as a merchandiser in your early career?
Absolutely. I started in the business about 20 years ago carrying a bag. and I used to pound the pavement. I would drive from store to store, walking in and out, basically be doing everything that a merchandiser today is doing in terms of checking the POP, checking the stock, relating product information, trying to sniff out competitive information, all the basic type things that we're doing right now.
So, Mike, you've been there, and now you're vice president. Let's talk a little bit about what you think the career path opportunities are for a merchandiser.
Well, frankly, Brian, I think the career opportunities for people in the merchandising group are excellent. Depending on this person's skill set and kind of what they want to do and what they're good at, they could perhaps move into the sales organization. They could certainly move into the marketing organization. They can move up within the merchandising group, perhaps into the training area. I think it's an excellent position to sort of come in and learn about a company and find out how it works, and then decide where you'd like to try to build your career. So I think the opportunities are unlimited, and I think it's an excellent position to start with the company.
Well, I think for once I can speak for everybody and say welcome. We're excited to have you here. Do you have any closing words of wisdom?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to spending time and meeting the group at the upcoming national sales meeting in Banff. And later, after I get my feet on the ground, I plan to spend a day in the field working with some lucky merchandiser to get an up-close and personal look at the job requirements.
Choose your driving companions carefully.
Thanks very much, Frank. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
In 60 seconds, you'll hear this.
Oh,
Paul, by the way, my title is Manager of Consumer Product Marketing. That's the only thing I care about. Just don't demote me.
Mark Vena is the product manager for the consumer products division.
Let's cut. He's not a product manager. He's
Manager of Consumer Product Marketing.
Right, for Compaq.
Who is the manager for the consumer products marketing for
Let's Manager of Consumer Product Marketing for Compaq. Can we say that?
Hello, MSR Drive here.
Here's a subliminal message. Send your profit-sharing check to Brian Plouts.
Hi, this is Paul Curtis, Merchandising Support Representative for the Northeast region. Also, reporter for MSR Drive. Today, we're going to be speaking with Mark Vena, Manager of Consumer Products Marketing for Compaq. Welcome, Mark.
How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm glad to be here.
Good to hear it. All right, Mark, today we're going to try to get some insight from you regarding the new Presario line, which was just introduced by Compaq on January 29th. And wonder, Mark, if you could possibly shed some light on some questions that we may have.
Sure, please.
Okay. First of all, when is the product going to start showing up in some of our stores?
The product will start showing up in our stores probably during this week, actually, and into next week, really in a much broader volume level. So from a product standpoint, by the middle of February, most of the product should be well assorted, and we'll have some product that will ship, some models that will ship toward the end of the month, but a good number of models will be available by the end of February.
Okay, so those are the models that will be shipping toward the end of the month will be the higher end, the 166 megahertz Pentium and so on?
That's exactly right, the 150 and the 166 and the scanner keyboard model.
Okay, actually that is the subject of the next thing I wanted to talk about was the scanner keyboard. First, why is the scanner keyboard only going to be a standard on one computer, the 7232?
Well, we made a decision to put the scanner keyboard on one particular model for one really broad reason, is that we wanted to make sure that we kept the price point of that particular system, which is it's right now $21.99 at a very affordable level. So rather than take that technology and put it across the entire line and drive up the street price of some of the SKUs, we made a decision, at the very beginning, to make sure that we put that keyboard just on one SKU. Now, the beauty of it, as you know, Paul, is that we have that keyboard available as a separate option for $349. So virtually any customer really can put that keyboard in any model. So they don't really have to worry about buying one with it bundled. If they don't like the bundled SKU that we have, the 7232, they can add that keyboard to any SKU that we have.
Okay, now that's $349 retail price. Correct?
Yeah, street price, yes.
When is the keyboard going to be available at the retail level, and who is going to be carrying it?
That keyboard is going to be available as an option, and that can be carried by virtually any number of retailers. I know that CompUSA has picked it up, and I know that I believe Circuit City and Office Depot and Staples have picked it up, but it can be carried as any option from any one of our retailers.
Okay, and that keyboard can be used on any computer also other than Compaq.
Yeah, that's a real important message. Like, if, for example, let's say you had a person like Lisa Gilman, for example, who wanted to scan in pictures of her bar mitzvah 15 or 20 years ago. What she could do then is she could take that technology and virtually use it on any particular machine, because knowing Lisa, she probably doesn't have a Compaq at home. She probably has a Packard Bell. But she could use that system with really any Windows-based system, Windows 95, Windows 3.1. It should be a DX266 or faster system. It should have at least 8 megabytes of RAM, and we recommend a serial port and 15 megabytes of free hard drive space.
Oh, okay. Actually, I just want to make a short comment here that any statements made by Mark Vena are those from Mark Vena alone and don't necessarily reflect Paul Curtis at all.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do.
Is the scanner keyboard, is that going to be a plug-and-play device?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, the beauty of the software is that when you configure the software, it recognizes the presence of the keyboard automatically. So from an ease-of-use standpoint, it's very simple to install. You literally just plug the cable, the cable that splits into two. One goes into the serial port, one goes into the keyboard port. You install the software, and it will recognize the presence of the keyboard immediately.
Okay, so the keyboard will plug into the serial port also. It doesn't need an outside power supply then?
It actually does require a power supply as well.
Okay.
But from the two ports that actually plug into the system, it actually splits in the back. One goes into the keyboard port, which is where the keyboard cable used to go, and then the other cable goes into the free serial port.
Okay, great. Well, next subject, this is just real quick regarding the PD-CD drive that's going to be available.
Wonderful technology, yes.
Yes. Now, that's an optical drive, and that can read and write as many times as you like.
The PD-CD stands for power drive, and the CD stands for the compact disc portion of the product. And what you can do with it is the PD obviously can store 650 megabytes of data on a removable cartridge that costs anywhere from $30 to $40 depending on the number of cartridges that you buy. So we believe it's the ideal media for backing up files on your machine. For example, people have been using tape traditionally for that type of application, but it really lends itself well to really replacing what tape is because it's much more durable, it's faster than conventional backup tape, and it's unlike tape, which is a sequential media. It's a random media, which means you can pull up files back into the system very, very quickly, unlike tape, which you have to search through a sequence of tape. So there's another piece of positioning for this technology that's very important as well, and that is that you can use this if you have a PD-CD at the home and a PD-CD at the office. You can use it as a transportable hard drive. So instead of shuttling big files back and forth on a floppy that you may have to use zip software that compresses the file down to size, you can actually shuttle it back and forth. So for someone like, for example, Ann Frobel, who has a lot of cheesecake recipes, thousands of them, as a matter of fact, that would span a number of floppies, she could actually use this technology to shuttle back and forth her cheesecake recipes.
Okay, that is fantastic.
Isn't that interesting, an application? I never thought about that. I just thought about that on the fly, but I'm sure Ann will thank me that that's a useful a segment of that technology.
Oh, I'm sure she's going to be thrilled to hear that.
I'm sure she will.
As far as the PD-CD drive, now that can be used, that's a standard quad-speed drive.
Yes, it's also backward compatible as a quad-speed CD-ROM drive, so you can use it as a CD player with quad-speed CDs, absolutely.
Okay, now would you have to put CDs you're going to play inside of a caddy?
No, the PD-CD is a caddyless drive. The cartridge itself, the media cartridge that you use as an optical device, is encased in a plastic cartridge, but when you're using it as a standard CD player, it just drops into the tray. There is no caddy required.
Okay. Now, the PD-CD drive also is available on one unit. I believe that's the 9240.
Right.
Is that going to be available as an option?
We won't be selling that initially as an option. We're looking at that very closely to sell that maybe down the road. But right now, it's not available as an option. And one of the reasons for that is Panasonic will be selling that in distribution to retailers as a general option for less than $500. So the fact that Panasonic is selling it independently kind of mitigates the need for us to sell it right off the bat. But we may do that in the future. But right now, it's not available as an option from us.
Okay. Now, people may be confused with PD-CD and DVD. I'm sure some people have heard of DVD drive. Can you just explain what a DVD drive is?
Yeah, DVD technology, that stands for, actually stands for digital video data, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it's digital video data. Actually, that's exactly what it sounds for. I'm looking at my memory bank, and that's exactly what it does stand for. What DVD really is, it's a new CD-ROM format that will be emerging later in the year, or actually really early part of '97, that can store on a conventional CD-ROM 5 or 6 times the amount of information that can be stored in a conventional CD. Right now, you can store about 650 megabytes on a conventional CD. DVD should allow you to store upwards of 5 to 6 megabytes worth of data on a single CD, the same type of CD that could would play in a conventional 5.25-inch CD player. So from a storage standpoint, I mean, there's some tremendous applications there because you could play, for example, full-length movies on a single CD because the density of the technology is so rich. But right now we don't have DVD drives. They won't be emerging until later in the year, but you probably will see them surface in consumer-level products probably in the early part of '97.
Okay, great. I believe you said 5 or 6 megabytes. I believe that was 5 or 6 gigabytes.
5 or 6 gigabytes, yes. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me, Paul. You see, I had a few drinks before I did this interview, and the memory is starting to go. But I appreciate you pointing that out, and you'll never get a job in marketing. I just want to make that clear to your audience. But go ahead, Paul.
Well, thank you. That's all the time we have for today.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get on to this. Well, also, I one little thing I wanted to point out that when I was looking up your job title, it was Mark N. Vena. Can you let us know what the N stands for, Mark?
It stands for Nick of Time. No, it stands for Norman. What do you ask?
Mark Norman Vena.
Yes, it does. If you attack my middle name, I can assure you that I will fly up to Boston tomorrow and take you out. I know people in the south end of Boston who can make you disappear, but go ahead with the joke.
On to our next question.
Go ahead.
No, we're getting off the subject a bit. I just had to razz you a little bit.
Okay.
But, next question I have for you is a big one also, is regarding the MPEG on our systems.
Yes.
I know this is kind of a sore spot when it was first explained to all the MSRs that we're going to be dropping the TrueQ MPEG on most models and coming up with software MPEG.
Mm-hmm.
The hardware MPEG, the TrueQ MPEG, is going to be available on the 9600 series, which is 2 units.
Exactly.
And there will be software MPEG on the rest of the unit.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that was disappointing news to some people, but there's some pretty good business and marketing reasons why we made that decision. The first reason is that there really isn't a huge number of MPEG titles out yet. There will be more titles coming out down the road, and especially interactive MPEG titles that really take advantage of the of sports titles that really will take advantage of the full motion video that TrueQ MPEG really provides. But the reality is that, for most people, software MPEG, especially with the higher speed machines that we're offering, will provide acceptable MPEG video. And unlike every other computer manufacturer out there right now, we'll be the only one out there with upgradability to TrueQ MPEG for a very low cost. You'll be able to upgrade the TrueQ MPEG on the system board. It doesn't take up any expansion slots for about $100 for the TrueQ MPEG feature. And if they want TrueQ wavetable synthesis capability, which is terrific for real-life digital sound, they can add that for $100 as well.
Okay, so that would be two different parts that you're going to add right to the system board, one for the MPEG and
one for the MPEG and one for the wavetable, exactly.
Roughly $100 a piece. We're not sure yet.
Right. So when someone like an Ann Mosier, for example, wants to utilize, I just called her. Sue Mosier. See, she's so memorable to me that I even forgot her name, and she'll probably call me after she hears this recording and attack me viciously, but I have people down here in Houston that can take care of her. But anyway, the joke was that she'd be able to watch all kinds of interesting movies using the MPEG capability, but I won't even go into that area right now because HR is standing out looking at me through a window right now.
Yeah. Well, what's the quality of the software MPEG?
Software MPEG provides roughly about 12 to 14 frames per second. Whereas TrueQ MPEG is real hardware-based MPEG, traditionally gives you about 30 frames per second. So there is a noticeable performance difference, but the bottom line is that software MPEG is better than no MPEG whatsoever. And for most people who are just casual users, soft MPEG actually is quite good. But for people who are looking for the ultimate multimedia experience, obviously TrueQ MPEG provides the best level of performance.
Right, so it's out there if they want to spend more money for the expensive machine. If they want to upgrade it, it's not a very expensive upgrade, so the option is always there for them.
That's exactly right.
Okay, great. Well, one more thing I really want to talk about was we haven't heard much about the monitors, very briefly, the 1410 and the 1510.
Yeah, there are 2 new flavors of monitors that we just introduced. They have street prices of $399 and $499 respectively for the 1410, which is a 14-inch, and $499 for the 15-inch monitor. Those monitors look very similar to last year's 1400 and 1500 monitors. They're compatible with the entire family. That's one of the other huge advantages that we've transitioned to this year, in that both monitors can be used with both desktops and mini towers. Unlike last year, we had different monitors for different systems. But they both come with multimedia speakers. The speakers have been somewhat enhanced to provide tremendous sound, but they still have the same sound speaker design that we had last year, and we think people will be very happy with them.
Okay, do you have any idea what the wattage is on those speakers?
The wattage is roughly 10 watts per speaker.
Okay, but the sound quality is just as good.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. keep in mind, and that's one important thing to mention to the people out there, the merchandisers and the training people out there, is that from a quality standpoint, wattage should not be the only determinant in determining what the quality of sound is. You can provide, if you have good speakers that provide 40 watts of power, but they have very poor acoustical design, you'll generally get very, very poor sound. Whereas if you have speakers that provide 10 watts of power, but they're optimized to work with a superior acoustical design, you'll get better sound on those type of speakers. So it's real important not to be hung up on just wattage as the sole determinant. But like last year, most people will be very, very pleased with the sound quality that they provide.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point too. That's why you see those $79 300-watt speakers that are the size of a wall, and you can get better sound out of a speaker that's the size of a glass.
That's exactly. Yeah, those are the type of speakers that like a Brian Plautz would probably buy because he's a cheap guy to begin with. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I digress.
All right, Mark. One last question, and I'll let you get back to your golf game. Your work. Why is there no all-in-one unit around this time, and will we see it maybe later in the year?
Well, actually, that's a very, very good question. The reason why we don't have an all-in-one in the first half of 96 is that the marketplace is transitioning very quickly to 15-inch monitors, especially in that form factor. And from an engineering and tooling design standpoint, we were not able to get there with a 15-inch integrated all-in-one form factor product. So rather than go to market with a product that might be a little bit more expensive and somewhat underfeatured, we've opted to step out of that product for the first 6 months. But we will come back in style in the June-July timeframe when we reintroduce the next portion of the Presario line later in the year, and that product will have an integrated 15-inch monitor, and we'll have some other bells and whistles, obviously, and it will be a much more competitive machine. The other marketing piece behind that, just so you will understand, is that from a seasonality standpoint, the all-in-one form factor is traditionally the strongest around the back-to-school and holiday sale season. So if there is a time of the year that we could be out of that product and pretty much be in a good position to work around that, it would be this time frame. And as you probably know, Paul, the desktops and mini towers are so competitively priced that we think most consumers will, if they are looking for a computer now, that they'll be able to find something in the existing line that we have.
Okay, well, there you have it, straight from Norm's mouth. Mark, is there any last-minute tips of advice for us?
The tips of advice is I just want to make sure that I'm paid for this interview. I had to walk all the way down the hallway to do this, and, I worked very, very hard, and, I've got to tee off in about 15 minutes. So, again, thanks to everybody. Have a good selling season for the next few months, and if there's anything I can do or the team can do, please give us a call, and call us collect, and that way you won't have to put the calls in your expense account. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you, Mark. Have a good day.
Bye.
Welcome to Las Vegas. I'd like to do one of my favorite songs, hopefully one of yours. MSR Drive! Stay tuned for a special announcement by Michelle Yockey.
Technical support, one of the most challenging and controversial aspects of the consumer computer industry. What other industry has such a responsibility to train the consumer to use their product? Can you imagine if automakers had to run their business like computer companies? General Motors doesn't have a helpline for people who don't know how to drive. But can you imagine if they did?
General Motors helpline, this is Steve. How can I help you today?
Hi, I just bought my first car. I chose your car because it has automatic transmission, cruise control, power steering, power brakes, and power door locks.
Oh, okay. Thanks for buying our car. How can I help you?
How do I work it?
Do you know how to drive, ma'am?
Do I know how to what?
Do you know how to drive? Drive the car.
Oh, I'm not a technical person. I just want to go places in my car.
General Motors Helpline, this is Jerry. How can I help you?
Your cars suck.
What's wrong?
It crashed. That's what's wrong.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. What were you doing?
I wanted it to run faster, so I pushed the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor. It worked for a while, and then it crashed. It won't start now.
It's your responsibility if you misuse the product. What do you expect us to do about it?
I want you to send me one of those latest versions, the ones that don't crash anymore. As frustrating as technical support may be, it is a hurdle that all computer companies must overcome. How do the other hardware manufacturers handle tech support and warranties? I have gathered some friends to help fill you in on what the other guys are doing.
Hi, my name is Peaches, and darling, I'm here to tell you about a little old company named IBM. You know IBM. They make the cute little machine, the Aptiva. I know you've seen it in the stores. It's the one with the gigantic tidal wave on top. Anyway, Sugar, let me tell you about tech support. They have a sweet little 800 number, you're welcome to call just any old time. They will provide you with tech support for just $35 per resolution. And the operating system is supported for free for 60 days, which is awfully kind, since it is their own operating system that no one without a degree in computers could understand anyway. The warranty is 3 years, parts and labor, with absolutely no on-site. Because, darling, they just don't have the time to be running all over the country fixing machines. Oh, and one other thing, they're real proud of something called online house calls. This is where they can access your machine via the modem to help you out. But, sugar, you better watch yourself before you go requesting a fancy service like that. You see, it costs $35 first half hour and $25 for each additional half hour. Good gracious.
Hello, my name is Colette. You might recognize me from the in-store demos you see running on the digital units. I'm the young lady whose lips don't match the words, kind of like an old B-rated Godzilla movie. The tech support policy at Digital is very similar to Compaq. It is $35 per resolution, except we do offer free support for the first 30 days. But be prepared. You will get a busy signal when you call. Sorry. Our warranty is 3 years parts and 1 year labor. We do offer on-site service for the first year. And again, thanks for not considering Digital.
Hey, dudes, my name is Rip. I'm going to tell you about those radical Acer computers. You know, the black and green ones that look like gnarly molded Swiss cheese on the side? If you need to call the buds at Acer, you got two ways, man. You got an 800 number and a 900 number. If you ring the 800 number, you'll probably get one of those bogus busy signals. Those tech dudes are real hard to come by. But if you get through, man, whoa, make sure you have a totally killer game to play, because you'll probably have to hang for about 2 to 3 hours. Oh, yeah, here's a surprise for you. Even though Acer offers free hardware support, you're going to be charged for software support. If you like, you can call the 900 number and not wait at all. Yeah, check it out. The 900 number has no hold time at all. But if you know in the computer industry like moi, no hold time means 10 minutes. And don't forget, all you incredible geeks, because it'll cost you $2 per minute. The first minute's free with a maximum of 25 green ones. The warranty on Acer machines is 3 years parts and labor, dude. The first year on site. That's right, all you eggheads. They'll come out to your pad to fix it. Radical.
All right, you listen to me. My name is Angel, and I'm talking to you about AST. We kind of got a different way of doing things here at AST. See, we don't give our tech number out to just anyone. You know what I mean? We have an 800 customer service number, and when you register your machine, you'll get the 800 tech number. At this number, support is free for hardware, software, and Windows 95. This warranty ain't so good, though. 1 year parts and labor, on-site or carry-in. After 1 year, don't come crying to me. You know what I mean?
Like, oh my God, hi, I'm Buffy. And, I'm going to tell you about Hewlett-Packard. But, I'm just going to call them HP because that's, their initials. Anyway, HP charges $25 per resolution for software support. But some stuff is free, way cool. The stuff that is free is HP programs, basic Windows 95, getting to know your PC, getting it up and, running for the first time, reconfiguring any pre-installed software, and also, basic multimedia. Oh my God, it's, so cool. But the warranty, it's a real bummer. It's 1 year parts and labor, and 1 year on site. And that's all, I'm so sure.
Hi, my name is Cindy. My mommy and daddy bought a Packard Bell. Can you believe it? What a couple of nerds. I am only 2 years old, and even I know that they should have bought a Compaq. They are the best computers. But you know, parents, they are so clueless. Anyway, now that they have one, they are having lots and lots of trouble. They keep trying to call someone to get help, but they really don't know who. You see, there are four different numbers. And you know what? All four numbers are always busy. They can call an 800 number for hardware, an 800 number for software, but for software, they gotta pay $20 per incident. There is also a 1-900 number that costs $2 per minute with a maximum of $30. They also has something called a warranty, but it's only 1 year parts and labor. But if my mommy and daddy want, they can buy some more stuff. Something called upgrades. They range anywhere from $89 to $299. 1 year carry-in to 2 years on-site. I just told my daddy that if he just would have waited another 5 months or so, he could have gotten that piece of junk for $299.
All right, ladies, are you listening to me? I'm Drill Sergeant Gates, and you can call me Drill Sergeant Gates. Do you understand me? I'm here to tell you about some mail-order machines you may have heard about from time to time. Micron, Dell, and Gateway. You think I'm prejudiced? I think Micron, Dell, and Gateway are equally worthless. Gateway and Micron offer free tech support, and Dell offers free tech support for 30 days. That's right, all you little weasels. I said free. But don't get all shook up, because I'm telling you, don't come crying to any of these vendors without 2 questions, because they're not going to help you. You understand me? They may say it's free, but it's only free for fixes and glitches. You think that's funny, hero? Maybe you think you're my friend now, and you want to hold my hand and date my sister. Well, the warranties work like this. Micron, 1 year parts and labor on-site. Gateway's 3 years parts and labor, 1 year on-site. Dell, well, hell, some have 1 year and some have 3 years. All right, now, maggots, just drop and give me 30.
Hello, I'm Hermie, and I'm here to tell you a little about NEC's technical support procedures. NEC offers free technical support for hardware, software, and Windows 95. Support is available through an 800 number. However, if you are calling for support on third-party or bundled software, Cording will refer you to the software vendor for support. NEC systems also come with a 3-year warranty, parts and labor, with the first year on site. Thank you, and good day.
Mary Gilger will now explain.
What's going on with our customer service policy?
MSR Drive.
In this next segment, I'm talking with Mary Gilger, Manager of Marketing Development and Planning, about changes in technical support procedures and warranties. Mary, please give the MSRs an idea of what your job entails and what your department is responsible for.
My department is responsible for developing channel strategies and programs for the consumer products, including Wonder Tools. We interface with the customer service and support group who develops and implements service programs and provide feedback that the MSRs and others have given us regarding service programs.
Great. Over the last couple of months, there have been some changes in the technical support procedures and policies. Can you give us an update of what those changes are?
Sure. There's a new procedure for handling incoming support calls. Calling customers are informed before their call is taken that there's a $35 fee per incident charge for certain types of support. If it is determined that a Compaq hardware defect or Compaq manufactured software defect is the problem, no fee will be charged to their credit card. Compaq manufactured software consists of MediaPilot, TabWorks, and MaxFax. The customer must provide a valid credit card number at the beginning of the tech support call to continue the process. Compaq has posted a positioning statement in a PackFax document to inform customers about the fee versus free service charges that have taken effect. There is also an additional PackFax document that explains the 10 most often asked questions about Presarios. Compaq customers can also browse the Compaq bulletin boards on the online services to find solutions to other commonly asked questions.
I understand part of this new support strategy includes the new 900 numbers. Could you tell us a little bit about that number?
Yes, end users who do not have a credit card or have multiple questions or prefer a shorter wait will have an option to call a 900 number where they will be put at the front of the queue and charged $2 per minute up to $30. These charges will appear on their telephone bill. This benefits the customer by allowing them to have more than one option for service charges, as well as giving them a lower charge rate.
Yeah, I understand that's very, very fast response. I called it just last week and got through to talk to someone in less than 45 seconds.
That's great.
What strategy does Compaq have to combat any negative feedback to maintain our position as the leader in the industry in service and support?
Compaq has put excellent documentation in place in the box so that the consumer can figure out the problem on their own. We have excellent tutorials, the Amazing Dictionary, and free online help for users. Most documentation is now on one CD to make help even easier to use. Compaq continually trains our technicians to make them as knowledgeable as possible, as well as we've hired additional staff to handle the volume of calls that are coming in.
Mary, tell us about the changes in the warranty on the new products.
The new limited warranty will be 3 years parts, 1-year labor with 90 days on-site from the date of purchase. We'll be offering warranty upgrades, $49 for 1 year on-site upgrade, which will give them 9 additional months once the 90 days has expired, as well as a $199 option for 3 years on-site and 2-year part upgrade.
How will this new warranty affect our retail partners?
We really don't foresee the retailers being impacted by this change. We encourage the retailers to sell their own warranty upgrades, which affects the stores in a positive manner by creating revenue for them. Also, Compaq has an extremely high confidence level with our hardware.
Why did we change our warranty?
Our experience has shown that the majority of the calls taking advantage of the on-site service are generally taken during the first 90-day startup period. In an effort to be more competitive in the retail marketplace, we felt that the 90-day on-site warranty for their getting started period would fulfill these needs.
How should the MSRs handle questions and negative comments from the stores and end users about the new warranty or technical support changes?
Maintain a positive attitude toward Compaq and our products. Let them know that we are one of the few companies that have merchandisers in the field. We did this so that we could get feedback from retailers and customers and improve products where the consumer really sees the need. Tell them that we appreciate their concerns, and you can take back all of their concerns to headquarters so that the problem can either be corrected or improved.
Great. That is Mary Gilger, Manager of Marketing Development and Planning.
Ooh, we got some embarrassing stories coming up.
MSR Drive.
Okay, this is a little story of Corey Theronis, MSR from Chicago. This occurred the first week back from Houston training last January of '95. I believe it was like my third day out as an MSR. I walked into an Office Max, and I saw a 920 CDTV with a power-on password. So I went up to it, approached it, and said, hey, no problem, I know how to fix this. You just pull the seam off, and I can do this. So I proceeded to turn off the unit, and I opened up the side panel. To my amazement, I freaked out. The electronic supervisor was standing there with me, and I said, oh my gosh, what happened to the motherboard? He goes, what do you mean what happened to the motherboard? I said, it's gone. I said, look at these cables just hanging here. He said, no, wait, are you serious? I said, yes, look. And I go, do you know if there was any thefts or in store, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh my gosh, we'll have to tell the store manager. Store manager approached me, and I then did not know, but making a complete fool out of myself and let them know that the motherboard was missing. And so I called Sharon Hermanson that night to let her know, what should I do. And she proceeded to inform me that it is a security level and a store level problem. She was glad that I informed her. However, it is a security level, and the store is going to have to take care of it. Well, the next day the store had a meeting regarding in-store theft. The next day I go to a Best Buy. Same thing, power on password. Corey opens up a 924 CDS, open up a side panel. Oh my gosh, motherboard's missing in this one too. And luckily this guy was pretty cool. He goes, I think you're opening the wrong side. And I said, oh, silly me. I acted as if I was just not knowing what I was doing at the time. And yeah, I opened up the other side, and well, look at there's the motherboard with everything on it. I had to swallow my pride and call the supervisor of my Office Max, which we are now very good friends, and he jokes about it all the time. But yeah, I told him to open up the wrong side, and they had this big store meeting about in-store theft, and I just opened up the wrong side panel of the tower. It's amazing that now I'm ACI and know what I'm doing, but that's probably pretty embarrassing for an MSR.
In 30 seconds, you'll hear this.
Say, shouldn't you be working or something?
So sit back, please grab and enjoy.
You wouldn't want to miss this by Ron Crocco.
This is Dr. McCoy, and today I wanted to talk to Ron Crocco about the impact of the MSR's visits on the store locations and the reactions of the corporate accounts. Hi, Ron.
Good afternoon, Leslie.
What impact does providing the MSR at the store level have on overall sales from both the retail and the corporate viewpoint?
I guess the biggest thing we see with the merchandisers is, all the studies that we look at back here in the lovely ivory tower show us that well over 50% of the consumers, when they walk into a retail store, don't know which computer they want to buy. And they're really swayed by what they see in the store, what the point-of-sale material that's there, what the salespeople on the floor tell them about different computers. And we want to make sure at Compaq that we have the best representation on the floor, both in how our computers look and work, as well as what the salespeople on the floor talk about when they refer to Compaq. And that's where the sales staff that's out in the field, all you guys that are working day in, day out in the stores, that's the difference that you make.
What type of feedback have you received from the corporate accounts on the visibility at MSR at store level? Do the corporate accounts feed back to you that their sales staff sees us in the store?
The biggest thing we hear back that's probably universal from all of the corporate accounts that we do business with, whether it be CompUSA or whether it be Best Buy, et cetera, their people envision our group out in the stores as the Compaq sales group. I mean, those are the people they refer to as the ones that get them the answers, help them out on demo days, help them out with special grand openings, do training, just do all the jobs that a typical salesperson would do to an individual store account. And that's really the type of feedback we get about the group in total.
You mentioned earlier that our main focus is to be on the sales floor with the salespeople. Has there been a noted difference from before the MSR program to having the MSR program today as far as sales go?
The one thing that we don't track today is we can't get what the sales out are by location. So it's always been one of our challenges is how do we figure out exactly what a store sells because they've been merchandised and they have a merchandiser or a sales team in there and one that doesn't. So it's not something we can quantify. I tell you, the one thing we do, and this company's doing a lot more of it now, is we're really tracking very closely with the key retailers what their weekly sales out is in an aggregate basis. And we really feel that the merchandisers are our contribution to helping them pull the product through at retail. So
has there been a greater impact on the stores as you see it for them supporting Compaq more?
Oh, absolutely, especially where there are trained retail salespeople on the floor. They're going to sell what they like to sell. They're going to sell what they know. And if we as a manufacturer provide them with the information and provide them with the tools that will help them sell more products to end users, they're obviously going to sell our products. And that's really where the merchandising team comes in.
Along those same lines, how do you think the store locations benefit from our daily visits, the merchandising, the daily contacts that we have with the stores?
I always break it down into three buckets. One is we make sure that that the product that's on the floor is actually operating and workable so that when a consumer comes in, they actually see a working model of one of our products, as well as make sure that the demos where they're allowed are up and running. I think the second part is that we make sure that there's takeaways for an end user, that if he wants to come in and wants to get information about the product, well, there's information there at the point of sale that he can take with them or read and help him make his decision on why to buy Compaq. And then finally, I think where there are trained salespeople, we have a voice that can actually influence what that salesperson in the Circuit City or the CompUSA decides to sell when a customer comes in and says, hey, what do you think I should buy? If that question is given to a salesperson from a consumer, we hope because of your efforts that they would recommend Compaq.
How do you and the other regional directors benefit from the input and feedback that we do gather on our monthly reports or on our store visits?
I think the biggest thing that we do is the piece that the regional directors use is the parts that are specific to the stores that they are responsible for. So, for example, if we're doing a demo days at Best Buy and the feedback we get back from merchandisers that, hey, when we went to do the demo days, the stores didn't execute as we thought they were going to, we're able to take that information back to the marketing teams at the headquarters and say, listen, if we do this the next time, you need to make sure that you communicate better, or this is actually what happened in the stores. That's really where the regional directors use that information to really go out and try to get the stores to execute better as it relates to Compaq.
Is there anything, lastly, that you want to add?
If this tape is heard by everybody before we go to Canada, then I just want to make sure they all bring enough warm clothes because I hear it's very, very cold up there.
Definitely. Okay, thanks a lot, Ron. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Please turn the cassette over now.